Hey friend, good to see you. Hope you have your coffee ready, as this is part of the series Coffee with Hannele Korhonen, Happy Lawyers and Happy Customers. And in these sessions I talk about client experience and client centricity in law, how to get more happy clients and make yourself a happy lawyer as well. And I am Hannele from Lawyers Design School, where I help lawyers to serve their clients better with the help of human-centered design. And this time I wanted to talk about the importance of making your law easy and how that is directly related to the happiness of your clients. And my point is very shortly this: when you make your law easy, your clients are happy. And does that sound strange to you? Is law supposed to be easy? We lawyers all too easily assume that a law must be complicated, that in order for us to be trustworthy or credible, we must maintain the complexity, right? And if you look at the messages that you send or contracts that you draft, all your communication that's related to legal issues, is it easy to understand? Is it approachable? And what is the client experience based on that complex and dry and cold legal information? And if you stop and think about your client, where does all this complexity lead? Your clients do not understand their own legal problems. They are not able to make decisions. They simply don't know what to do. And at the end, your clients may give up trying to understand. They feel uncertain and they don't know about their options. And what's very unfortunate for your law practice is that they start looking for alternatives to help, because they don't want to feel like they're wasting time and money, especially when it's often a lot of time and money. So in short, if you make things complicated for your clients, you are not serving them very well, and that's bad business for you. And I think that our job as lawyers is to change all this. We need to search for best ways to serve our clients. And if you make your law easy, your clients will understand you better. They will be empowered in their own legal matters, and they will trust and like you more. You will increase that know, trust and like factor in you and your brand. And we like people who are easy to read. I think this is a good quote. And I think that you want your clients to like you. And your business should be about building relationships, having a dialogue with your clients, instead of a one-way channel for providing legal information and legal help. Relationships are more valuable and more meaningful than one-time transactions that you get with clients that shop around trying to find a lawyer for life, because they also want to form a relationship with you. And adding ease and sense-making to your lawyer toolbox will move you from a traditional lawyer-centered communication to more client-centered legal experience your clients can relate to. And they keep coming back for more of those experiences, for sure. Wouldn't it be fantastic if your clients would understand what you're trying to say? So let's walk through 4 common mistakes that lawyers typically do that make clients shiver, and I will also give my tips on what to do instead. So first mistake is for you as a lawyer to put yourself and your expertise in the spotlight. I don't know about you, but I think that for lawyers it comes naturally to communicate in a way that abandons the client's perspective from the get-go. And I think I love this quote from George Bernard Shaw that says that the single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. And this is many times the case in legal communication. And lawyers often think that once they have provided their legal masterpiece to the client, it's all clear, communication checked. And it's easy to make the legal communication about you and what you want to tell your client rather than what the client needs to hear and know. And it's much harder to put the client at the center of your work and communicate in a way that makes sense to them. And this also means that you only give the information that is relevant to the client, not everything that you know about the subject. So what to do instead? Quite obviously, you need to turn the tables and put your client in the spotlight. Get to know the client and understand their specific need and also context in which they are using the information or your advice, and adjust your communication to all that. What your client needs to know and what is helpful in their particular situation. And then dare to leave the rest out. Or drip it to another more appropriate occasion, because sometimes the information itself is needed, but the timing is wrong. So you need to also look at the timing. Next mistake is that lawyers think that they overwhelm their clients with legal speak. And I think that this is something that we probably all recognize quite well. Lawyers who aren't really communicating to interact with clients, but they are showing off their huge vocabulary. And how this looks like in practice. Lawyers write long sentences their clients do not understand, and they use legalese that doesn't make sense to the client. And the clients get intimidated, and they need to reach out a dictionary to understand you. And this, while the information may be technically correct, but if your client doesn't understand you, you're not doing a very good job, especially when you're trying to help them. And you need to think about how your client feels about your legal speak. The complexity and the overwhelm with your law makes the clients feel themselves stupid, like they should know all of this, and when they don't, there's something wrong with them. And nobody wants to feel that way. Nobody wants to pay money for services that make them feel stupid. So what to do instead? I would say that pay attention to not only what you are saying, but how you are saying it. Use plain language, that's an obvious one. Use words that your clients can understand. And I think here's a helpful thinking process, at least for me. Think about when you're trying to explain a complex issue, think about how would you say the same thing to your mother. It's not about dumbing down the law, but trying to step into your client's shoes and adjust the communication for them. And dare to ask from your client, did they understand it? And own the mistake if they don't understand. Don't put the mistake on them. And explain again with different words if they didn't understand. And here's a good thumb rule. If there's only one thing you remember from this is to shorten your sentences. Use full stop instead of a comma. So every time you're going to use a comma, just use full stop instead. And the impact is huge, I promise. No tech involved, no huge development budget required. Very simple to implement right away. Okay, the third mistake is to hide the key information from your client. Does this sound familiar to you? Lawyers like to start all communication from ancient history, and it's not uncommon to find the beef in a legal document. For example, in order to find the beef, you have to dig really deep. like read pages after pages until you finally find the one thing that that's interesting and important to you. And lawyers mistake the work products as literature and assume that our clients want to read every single page of, for example, 20-page document. But this is not the case, because the client wants to get the information that is relevant for them. And I think a good example of this is an insurance company's compensation decision. Typically, these decisions start with the description of the event, and then they go on to explain the basis for the decision, and then at the end, you can find the decision itself. And what do you think is most important for the client? It's of course the decision itself, whether or not the client will get the compensation. So the entire letter should actually start with the decision, with the information, this key information, with colorful, shiny letters if possible, so that the client will find it fast. So what to do instead of hiding this key information? The cure is actually quite simple. Start your brief or document or presentation or whatever you are doing with the key information, key points. The main message to your clients. Go directly to the beef and then explain later. And this way your clients will not get frustrated when having to read the whole thing before finding what they need. But first, of course, you need to understand what the key message to your client is. And the tip is that the legal jargon is usually not the most important thing in your document. You can leave that to the end. Okay, then the fourth and last mistake I wanted to talk about today. And it's that the legal document looks like a legal document. What's wrong with that, you might ask? But let's face it, legal writing often looks like a massive wall of text that blocks any attempts to approach it very effectively. It's just a huge amount of boring black text. Smallest font, fully justified, covering every inch of the white space. And many times it's human. Lawyers just don't know how to change this, how to break their wall of text with some visual aids to help the client. Lawyers think that they are not graphic designers and don't have the skills. So what to do instead? How to make the legal document look like more helpful to the client? And the answer is to start experimenting with visual law. It means adding visual elements to your legal content and communication. And you can start easy with very simple things. And most simple and many times forgotten tool is to add white space to your document. Allow your client to breathe in the middle of the read. You can add spacing between paragraphs or increase the line height so that it's not so dense writing. And there are many tools to add the visuals, more complex but very useful and doable. Visualizations are, for example, timeline or a process chart to your document to explain a complex process visually, like a court process, for example. And you can just imagine the relief in your client's face when they get an easy overview of the problem and where to go next. How does the process go and what is needed from them. I've actually written a blog post about visual law and its possibilities, so go check it out from my blog, lawyersdesignschool.com, if you want to explore some more. But visual law is definitely an area worth to look at. And you don't have to be a professional designer to get started, I promise. So there you have it. 4 ways how lawyers can make their law less complicated or easy for their clients, and how to make happy clients. So thank you for watching, and I'd love to hear from you. So please leave a comment or drop a DM to continue the discussion for happy clients and happy lawyers. Thank you for today and see you next week, same time.